reactions continue to trail this morning's action by the Nigerian police force when they shot at Omoyele Sowore, the national chairman of the African Action Congress, a former presidential candidate, an activist, and a journalist. And it's quite disturbing to note the circumstances that led to this while he was trying to muster support for a demonstration to protest insecurity across the country. One begins to wonder, what's your reaction to this attack on Omoyele Sowore this morning, Barrister Inibehe?
The attack on Sowore is condemnable, dastardly, outrageous, and grossly offensive. What the police has done is a clear indication that the Buhari regime has declared war on the civic space, and that this regime is determined to kill, to steal, and to destroy in the attempt to quell any form of democratic expression. Sowore did not do anything wrong. I followed and watched the whole episode play out on Facebook Live because his visit to the Unity Fountain was being streamed live on Facebook. So the whole world witnessed what happened. He was just standing there talking peacefully with the police officers who were already stationed at the Unity Fountain, who ordinarily had no business being at that place. The Unity Fountain is a civic space. It is a space where citizens are supposed to gather to express themselves. It has become a symbolic place for the human rights community and the civil society in this country, particularly in the FCT. So when I saw that the police had been sent to barricade the place and the Unity Fountain itself had been sealed off, what they did was to tell us that on no account will this regime allow Nigerians to express themselves. Sowore was just talking to them when this murderous, criminally inspired team of rascally, police officers invaded the place and decided to launch that dispirited and shameful attack on Sowore. For me, the attack was deliberate. It was clearly targeted, specifically directed at him with the intent, clear intent of causing severe bodily harm. There was an intention to hurt him. There was an intention to harm him. And we are just lucky that the injury sustained wasn't too grievous, even though it is a serious one.
Now, let me quickly take you up on on your last statement that Sowore was specifically targeted, because a lot of concerns have actually been raised towards that. Questions are actually being raised that was Sowore specifically targeted, and was this shooting also linked to his activism, especially with regards to his vitriolic and bitter criticism of this government? And is this, providing further evidence that this government, there is a deliberate policy by senior figures in the Buhari's government to use deadly force against critics? What's your view on this, sir?
I have no doubt at all, that the attack on Sowore was premeditated. They came there specifically to attack him. It is not as if when they arrived, altercation ensued, or they had some form of disagreement, or that they came and met rowdiness, or as they mendaciously said in their press statement, to quell public disturbance. There was no public disturbance. There was no attempt to even cause public disturbance. But the police lies so shamelessly. They have no integrity, they have no credibility, they have no respect for the truth. The whole world can see it. I saw it live on Facebook. It was just a few of them. They were barely up to 10 people at that time. interfacing with the police officers at the other end of the Unity Fountain, who had enclosed themselves, with the fence, the iron that they have erected. So there was nothing like altercation. While he was discussing with the officers already stationed there, this murderous gang invaded the place without even accosting him to say, what is your purpose here? Why are you gathered here? What is going on? What do you want to do? They didn't even have the courtesy to say what is going on or to ask him anything. They just came and immediately attacked him. And nobody can tell me that it was accidental or that the tear gas canister was misdirected. It was specifically targeted at him, as I said, with the intention of either killing him or ensuring that he sustains grievous bodily harm. But this shouldn't just be condemned as an act of professional misconduct. What the officer did, that female police officer and a gang who have been identified, is a criminal offense under the Anti-Torture Act of 2017, which was passed by the National Assembly and assented to by the president. That law criminalizes the infliction of pain, the infliction of bodily harm on citizens by the police and other law enforcement agencies. But because Nigeria is basically a banana republic, because this is a regime that has no respect for the rule of law, nothing is going to be done about it. Were Nigeria to be a sensible country under a democratic dispensation, were Nigeria to be a country that believes in the rule of law, that criminal officer would have been in custody by now. She should be arrested. She should be made to face orderly room trial. She should be dismissed from the police force. Because we cannot continue to recruit criminals to enforce the law. What they did is an act of criminality. So let us not just say, oh, they were unprofessional. This has gone beyond the realm of unprofessionalism. What the police did to Sowore and others is clear act of criminality. We cannot be fighting banditry in the north, fighting Boko Haram in the north, and also be allowing, this act of banditry and terrorism unleashed on citizens by those who are supposed to protect them.
Now, finally, beyond just condemning the Nigerian authorities over these systemic violations of human rights and are there other measures that should be that that should be embarked upon at this point in time to ensure that the Nigerian police force are held accountable for this action, especially with regards to this shooting?
I can assure you that legal action will be taken. Legal action will be taken. That discussion is going to take place once Sowore is discharged from the hospital. I can tell you that we are going to go to court on this. Do not forget that when Charlie Boy was attacked, by the same FCT, police command. I'm hoping I can lay hands on a copy of the judgment, during the resume or resign protest. At that same Unity Fountain, I was the one who went to court on behalf of Charlie Boy to enforce his fundamental right. In similar circumstances, it was also tear gas. And I got a 50 million naira judgment against the police that they have not paid till date. The court also ordered them to apologize. So in the case of Sowore, there is not going to be an exception. We will still go back to the court to ensure that these rights are enforced. We will also insist that that criminal officer and a gang should be prosecuted under the Anti-Torture Act. She should be used as an example to test that law, that act that was passed by the National Assembly. And we are also saying that if the police did not sanction this attempt on the life of Sowore, let the officers involved be made to face orderly room trial. And I am also calling on the international community to impose sanctions on the leadership of the police, from the Inspector General of Police to the Commissioner of Police, FCT, the officer who led that murderous gang, and every officer who implicated in this. They should be sanctioned. They should be denied travel. They should not be allowed to travel out of this country. Travel bans should be imposed on them. The assets abroad should be frozen. These are individuals that should be blacklisted. Their names should be placed on the hall of shame. These are agents who are determined to derail our democracy, and we have a responsibility to ensure that they face the consequences of their outrageous and grievous acts.
Thank you, Vice Inibehe Effiong. We really appreciate your insightful analysis and perspective on this issue. Thank you so much, sir.